Final Step Brazil, Book 2, Life After Hell, Chapter 41. Finally, semi-aberto, semi-open prison. 24th of February 2009. It was done. I received the announcement this day that I would be transferred the next day to Butantã. A little wistfully I thought, the times in my single cell are over, but perhaps a first step to freedom? So I packed all my things to bring them to Inclusão and hoped that the guards examining my things wouldn't investigate too much on my book and ask too many questions. My last shopping I picked up and brought it also to Inclusão. Back in the pavilion I packed also Hilda's property, and after the guards answered my question where to put it, that this would come to Inclusão, the presumption was obvious that Hilda would be losing the cell if she ever came back. For my part, I was quite surprised that it suddenly went so fast, but much the better. The sooner I could talk to Michael. He seemed to be okay anyway. At least he was still alive, because after I spoke with Lucia of ITTC about my concerns, she had called his number. Unfortunately, she could not learn a lot from him, because she didn't speak enough Spanish, and Michael's English was also not very good. However, she brought me his email address, to which I wrote to him immediately and asked Lucia to send it for me. Now, however, the end of this hell had come, and now I waited for the next one. I had no illusions. It would not be better, maybe worse, but hopefully not for long. 27th of February, my first day. Pure hard work to transport all the stuff, then to unload it from the truck and the familia. Body check, new uniform, control of the things we had with us. The police officer who controlled my stuff was very friendly and let me take practically everything into the cell. 4 heavy bags. The prisoners that worked in the Inclusão helped us to shift all the things across the area to a pavilion where we were waiting on the ground floor of the things ahead of us, without eating or drinking. After the welcome speech, we balanced with the help of other inmates, including Sheila, one of the many old faces, our luggage, to the second floor, where we were allowed to select cells. I followed Iris, a Spanish woman, to a cell which was with 7 women overcrowded already. My claustrophobia was back, and I had no idea how I could survive 2 weeks this way. All other cells were just as full, or even more crowded. Everywhere hands, arms, feet, legs. For me it was just disgusting, not to mention the lack of hygiene. This was a pigsty in which no one used disinfectant or detergent. Already I knew that once again I would suffer from constipation because I could not use this shithouse. Everywhere was big noise during the day until late in the evening. The first night I slept very badly. I didn't see how it could get any better. Sleep during the day I could forget, because these dirty pads, mattresses you could really not call them, were rolled up. For me it was almost the same hell again as Arusha. Also, Carla, whom I knew from the PFC and met that same day, consoled me that it would be better once I came out of the estágio. Better? How? The other cells were just as crowded. 9th of March 2009. The first 1.5 weeks I finally passed very well, much better than I had expected. I got to like it more than in the PFC. With the inhabitants of the quarters here, the accommodations were not called cells anymore, nor were they locked. I had no problems, but I liked the girls from the neighbor quarto even better, and finally moved there. Here I could share my interests, samba and pagode. The girls just called me Lindinha, Little Beauty. The Alemã, dancing and singing samba. I was one of them. Although most moved out quickly from the estágio, but the remaining 2 were also okay. Wesley came to see me the previous week to inform me that my chances were good to be released on parole the very same week. My case was with the judge. Wesley used the precedent case of Lena, reasoning that what applies to one must apply to everyone, especially since I officially had shown an excellent and exemplary behavior in contrast to Lena, who had ended up once in the castigo. I didn't rely on Wesley's statement, and therefore I was already struggling to obtain a quarter after the time in the estagio on the same floor. No way! I wanted to stay in the upper floors, with quarters having unprotected open windows, large like doors, from where people not seldom fell out. Only the week before, one woman had crashed out of such a window from the fourth floor. With lots of luck, she escaped death. My prospects for work were not bad, in a suitable job for me in the administration. The director gave me the promise that I would be invited for an interview at the training center. The management was outside the prison, which meant that I was able to work outside earlier than expected and would be returning only to sleep. 11th of March 2009. Since one day Iris and I were out of the estagio. Why only us two were allowed to leave the estagio early, no one knew, but we moved together into a small quarto. Also, it was on the third floor, but it was safe because this quarto possessed only two small windows, high up in the wall. I was only missing my TV and, of course, the phone card, so I could finally call Michael. For the moment, I went to other cells in the evening to watch TV, where I was also broadly and warmly welcomed.